I offer my obeisances time and again unto Shri Guru, also to Shri Gaurachandra, Srimati Radhika, her associates and her holy abode, Shri Vrindavan Dham, and unto Shri Krishna, his devotees, and the devotees of his devotees. So welcome to part 4 of our Light Casts No Shadow series. May all the divine personalities bless us with supreme understanding of the subject matter at hand. So in the last video we were discussing materialism, and I put the link to this very helpful documentary called Unlocking the Mystery of Life, which disproves the evolutionary theory into the description of the video, and also mentioned it in my blog post on 108 LSA. And so here we are having the next part, and that is Holism, Deism, and Pantheism. Let's continue with the on-the-go translation of Armin Risi's article. If one views matter as the only reality, that doesn't mean that one necessarily has a very confined horizon or restricted viewpoint. It only requires an open-minded observation of nature to come to a more encompassing paradigm, and that is the next step. It's called holism. Could be called holism. It's one word, and it's based on the Greek word holos, which means whole, encompassing, etc. And it's a how to say, summary term for different forms of holistic worldviews, in which the world of forms is viewed as an expression of laws and harmonies which are immanent to matter. And in the symbolism of light and shadows, that would say, translate into, light is not just the same as darkness or shadows, but light is the sum total of all darkness and all grades of shades of gray. So, what does that mean? Reality is here viewed as a universal, all-encompassing wholeness of matter, and the immanent laws, which has a self-organizing effect, is termed as spirit or cosmic intelligence. And some schools also personify that in a very rough way and call it the building master of the universe, though they have no real idea of a person who's actually doing that. It's more like a phrase that they use. So holism is a step, and as in all steps, there is one which is turning towards God or turning away from God. And the form of holism which is facing or turning towards God is called Pantheism, and that which is turning away from God is called Deism. But that doesn't mean that everyone who is following Deism is actually going into the turning away from God. Secular orders like the Freemasons are calling themselves as Deism. So still, if one is a deist or following one of these orders, one could be facing towards God or be developing into a God understanding if one has inclination or the ego is developing in that way. And so that person would be more accurately called a pantheist. So let's figure out what the differences are. It's not wrong to use the term deism for those who are turning away from God on that stage, because it is actually derived from the word Deus, God, in Latin, and ism is derived from the Roman Latin Imperium Romanum, the Roman Reich, and that's combined with imperialism, which is still ruling world politics nowadays. So we have on the $1 bill, we have Novus Ordo Seclorum, New World Order. And it's actually, it seems to be slightly wrong Latin. It should be Seculorum and not Seclorum. But that is on purpose. The deistic form of holism, so the one which is not actually turning towards God, says, light is the totality of all shadows, and if one realizes the totality and unity of darkness, then one is in the light. So reality is here synonymous with the totality of matter and their immanent laws, which are always working mechanically in a quantum mechanic sense or in a spirit mechanic sense, subtle mechanisms. So the laws of action and reaction are not only viewed here or interpreted here in the terms of physics, but on all levels of existence that they can perceive, which is of course correct. Some term it as divine ordinance, others call it the law of karma. But the question is, if that understanding of the law of karma is really holistic or just a half-truth. And that is oftentimes a half-truth in the version of holism which is turned away from God. That is the deism, and there it is said, everything happens by the law of action and reaction. There is no random chance, which is true, but there's more to it. And this is a very long essay here about deism, holism, pantheism. So we will continue that in part number 5. So thank you very much for your participation, for your attention, for your likes, for your comments, and share if you care. So thank you very much. Jai Shri Radhe Shyam. See you in the next episode.